If you're really interested in stock photography, you can start by following me. Going forward, I will keep sharing real-world selling experience from different stock platforms, comparisons of actual earnings, and how ordinary people can gradually turn photos into long-term income. In this episode, I want to clearly explain the most basic and most critical first step: how to sell your first photo and how to become a contracted photographer with Visual China. Right now, I am shooting local event content for stock libraries while also walking you through how an ordinary person can apply to become a Visual China contributor and truly get started on the path of selling images. You see me walking around and shooting at the same time. I am not trying to create some kind of cinematic masterpiece. What I am doing is collecting material that is suitable for commercial use. This is something many people completely overlook when they first get into stock photography. Stock libraries aren't photography competitions. They don't care how strong your personal style is or how flashy your composition looks. They only care about one thing: is this photo useful for clients? First, let's get one crucial idea straight. Photos taken with both phones and cameras can be sold. Equipment is not the barrier. Pixel count is the core issue. What really determines whether your photo can sell is whether it meets commercial needs. Take a night market as an example. If you fill the frame too much and make it too busy, it actually becomes harder to sell. When I am shooting, I deliberately simplify the scene, focusing on just one store, one dish, or one action in the cooking process, leaving enough space for clients to use the image. A lot of people hesitate to start selling photos because they don't know where to begin, or they get scared by the idea that the review process is very strict. The difficulty does exist, but mainly at the beginning, and there are techniques to it. Keep listening to apply. As a Visual China contributor, you need to be at least 18 years old and own original works that can be licensed for sale. You also need to submit no fewer than 20 images as sample works for the application. THES images are the strictest checkpoint in the entire process. The reviewers aren't looking to see whether you happen to have one or two lucky shots. They're evaluating whether you can consistently produce and continuously deliver work that meets commercial standards. So when choosing subject, you must think from the stock library's perspective. If you're reapplying for creative images, meaning content without specific news attributes that can be widely used in advertising, design, and promotion, then topics like cityscape, natural scenery, lifestyle, food, and industry-related scenes are all very safe directions. The night market I am shooting right now actually fits both city life and industry themes at the same time. The technical requirements are actually very simple. Images need to be over 6 million pixels, and JPG format is fine. MOST modern smartphones can easily meet this standard. What really gets images rejected are composition issues and rights issues. On the visual side, an unclear subject, messy backgrounds, incorrect exposure, or blurry images will all directly affect the review result. Night markets are especially easy to fail because of clutter, so on location, I constantly change angles and avoid things like wires and random objects to keep the frame as clean as possible. Rights issues are what beginners most often overlook. Obvious trademarks, logos, and recognizable brand designs all carry risks. The same goes for people. If a face is clearly identifiable and you don't have a model release, the image is very likely to be rejected. That is why when I photograph people, I tend to choose back views, side profiles, or shots of hands in action, making the person part of the scene rather than the sole subject of the image. Another very important point: during the application stage, don't upload a large number of highly similar photos at once. For the same store or the same angle, 2 or 3 clearly different images are enough. Stock libraries value diversity, not burst shooting. If you pass the review, then for future uploads to the platform, you need to pay close attention to titles and keywords. The title should be a single sentence that clearly conveys the main content of the image. It is written for clients, not for yourself. Keywords should be as complete as possible, describing the subject, scene, action, and usage. Location information is especially important. Many clients search directly by city or region. Well-written titles and keywords directly determine whether your image gets seen and whether it has a chance to sell. If your 20 sample images don't pass, it's best to be mentally prepared. The application channel will be temporarily closed, and if I remember correctly, you will need to wait 60 days before apply. Again, that is why, before submitting for the first time, it is better to fully understand the approach and standards instead of just uploading images to make up the numbers. Finally, let me say this again: if you find this content helpful, remember to follow me. I'll continue sharing the selling logic of different stock platforms, real income results, which subjects are more likely to generate long-term sales, and how beginners can avoid common pitfalls. If you already have photos and aren't sure which ones are suitable for applying, you can post them directly in the comments. I can review them from a stock library reviewer's perspective and help you identify where the problems are, so you can take that first step towards selling images as quickly as possible. See you next time.